Hey Vegas, I'm Ron Garrett, your host here on the Vegas Pulse, stories from the back of the house. And my guest today is a guy that knows about the back of the house. He's been around Vegas a long time. He was raised in Vegas, born in San Jose, was it?
Yep.
His name is Michael Shapiro, and he's famous for Reckless in Vegas, which became a huge show, and we'll see more of Reckless
You bet.
in the future, won't we, Michael?
You know, well, you never know with this town. But yeah, our plan is to continue to perform in Las Vegas. Yeah.
So a little bit about you. San Jose is your birthplace, but you went to Chaparral High. You were raised here in Las Vegas, and you're pretty familiar. But you left town.
I did, yeah. My family moved to Vegas in 1955. My father was here in 70 when I was born, and I spent the first 29 years in Vegas. And then I took off. Moved to Portland, Oregon, and lived there for 6 years, and then I moved to Marin County. I lived there for 9 years, and in 2015, I came back to Las Vegas. But yeah, I went to Chaparral High School. I'm a 1988 graduate, giving my age away a little bit.
88, huh?
88, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I graduated in 1961, so
Wow. Yeah,
it was a long time before that.
great time to graduate, though. I mean, the music scene. You were in Vegas, right? You were.
No, I wasn't. I'm from Long Island, but I was 18 years old. I graduated in 61. I joined the Air Force,
Military.
and
guy?
they sent me to Detroit in the 60s.
Yeah. How was that?
Wow. Oh, Detroit was on fire in
Yeah.
the 60s. Nobody drove a foreign car. You
Right.
got
All
having
American.
a Toyota is like having a Tesla now.
Yeah.
They
The
wanted to
economy was
scratch
good.
it because it was a foreign car.
When did you come to Vegas?
I came to Vegas 1971 as
Okay.
a disc jockey.
And when did you take the entertainment? Because you at the Sahara, you were at the Sahara, right?
It took 25 years to get to the Sahara.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
But we're talking to you today.
I know, but I just sometimes
You
I
want to interview me?
fantasize.
This is not a little lavender.
I
and-
fantasize that you are the entertainment director when we were at the Sahara in residency, because we would have worked well together.
We would have. And I was there 6 years as the entertainment director, but it was a different Vegas then. We were talking about that just a little earlier, that there's a great article that Clint, I can't remember his name.
Is it Calvaretta?
Calavera.
I don't know
He's
him.
the Birdman.
Yeah, the Birdman.
And he's been on my radio show just like you have.
Yeah.
And he put an article out today about what's up with Vegas. And if you read it, it's all over Facebook, and I shared it as well.
Yeah.
It talks about Vegas, I would say, kind of a decline. Because
Change.
it's part of what I want to talk about today. Business is down here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it has been for the last 4 months. The strip numbers are off by 6 to 10%. Airport numbers are down.
Yeah.
All that stuff is down, which goes along with that article we just mentioned. Why do you think that is? And we know the answer to that, but I want to hear it from you. You're a Vegas guy. You've had a Vegas residency. You know everybody in town. And your dad was quite a big shot back in his day.
Grandfather. Dad was.
Your grandfather,
He was
right.
a smaller big shot.
Yeah. So why do you think that is? What's happening with Vegas in your opinion, and what would you do to change that?
You know, so in 2014 we did our first residency here, and I was prompted to move back to Las Vegas to continue a residency. And so in 2015 I moved back. The model that was presented to us was guaranteed pay, hotel suites. They paid for all the advertising. 3 months after I moved back in 2015, a new GM came into the property and reverted to the pay-to-play mode, the four-wall mode, right, that model. And that was the beginning of the end. I was shocked to learn that that model even existed in Las Vegas showrooms. So that's 10 years ago that piece became more prevalent, right? So when you start to go that route with shows, as a producer, it makes that piece of it harder because you have to put up all the money and all the advertising. That's from the artist point of view. From the business point of view, I don't think that the younger generation wants to go see a traditional show, even a show like Cirque du Soleil. Those numbers have declined. Even A-list celebrities, they're seeing a decline in their numbers too. With the sports, right? We've become quite a big sports town. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and is it a negative thing? No, I don't think so. It's just a different kind of thing. And I think that right now, in any business right now, people are kind of holding onto their wallets a little bit. They don't know. There's some uncertainty in markets and et cetera.
Well,
and
Vegas isn't a bargain anymore. Vegas used to be a great place for $2.99 buffet,
Yeah.
$6.99 dinner, and now that's $69.99.
That's right.
And up to $100 for a buffet at dinner.
Yeah.
Well, let me talk a little bit about four-walling, because as the entertainment director of the Sahara, and also Circus before that, and Debbie Reynolds Hotel before that,
Oh, yeah.
which became the Greek Isles, I didn't want four walls. I wanted to pay the acts. I did pay the acts.
Yeah.
The only four wall I ever did was Frankie Shinta. But
Did he press the four wall? Is he the reason he wanted the four wall? Some guys want the four wall.
He wanted the four wall because and it worked for him.
Yeah. He had
It
a
worked for him
following.
because he had a following.
Yep.
He was coming off I believe he was at the Rio for many years as the Shintas.
He was at the Sahara as well, right?
But this was 2000. I think I brought him in 2006.
Yeah, tremendous talent.
And he filled the room.
Yeah.
I had 800 seats. You've worked that room.
Yep.
With Reckless in Vegas at the current Sahara, but it's been totally reconfigured.
Yep.
What happened to the balcony? There was
Not for the better.
There was a 200-seat balcony up there.
Those on the wings of the balcony, they're still there. They're just covered. So when you're backstage behind the curtain, the seats are all still there. It's pretty wild the way they just covered it up.
I wanted to be the boss.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to the acts and try to make them the way I thought they'd be better.
Yeah.
When it's a four wall, the hotel's got nothing to say, but they also don't help the act.
That's correct.
I was telling our producer, Richard Giacovino, earlier that I would pay the act so I would be the boss, but I wanted them to work within my realm.
Yeah.
And if they're the boss, they pay, and you can't tell them anything.
Can go off the rails. Yeah.
So we paid our acts, and I fought four-walling forever for that reason, and it all came anyway.
Yeah.
And it's the downfall, I believe, of so many of the showrooms, unless you're Bruno Mars.
And even then, because of
he's
the pricing,
not selling as much as he used to either.
the pricing has gotten out of control because of Ticketmaster and other.
So Vegas has got a problem. We're watching gaming go down.
Yep.
We're watching people through the airport coming down. It's because, in my opinion, it's because of paid parking.
Yeah.
$60 some
Correct.
places just to stay at the place.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. Also, the resort fees. Now, there's a new law that the hotels have to reveal
Yeah,
the
disclose.
resort fee. So just put it where it should be in the
In
rate.
the room, yeah. That's
It's not $59 a night at the Sahara. It's $59 plus $59.
yeah.
That's still a pretty good price, though. But
Well, and that hurt any of the local business too, because who wants to drive to the Strip in traffic and then pay $40 or $50 for parking? You're not going to get any local business. A lot of these hotels, they don't want local; it's only tourists, so they cater to that. And people were paying it, but you're right; it's gotten out of control and it's very expensive. The bargain town is gone.
you rebelled against four-walling.
I did.
I know you did. We're going to come back in a minute and find out how that went down.
Okay.
Because you're not working right now. I know, I'm only kidding with you.
By design.
But you could if you wanted to. Let's
of
put
course.
that in there. I'm being a wise guy. We'll be right back with more Michael Shapiro here on the Vegas Post. Stories from the back of the house on Hey Vegas TV. Be right back. We're back on the Vegas Pulse with Mr. Michael Shapiro, producer, director, arranger, and star, and much more than that as well. Choreographer, just about everything.
you
of
flatter me,
Reckless
Ron.
in Vegas, which was a hit show.
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm very, very proud of it.
Not to use any names, but one of the last hotels you were at, did you have issues with the four wall, and did you stop doing the show because of that? You rebelled. What happened?
The rebellion really was just about negotiating a deal. And when we got to the end, we were doing really well. Of course, like any show, we papered the room in the beginning. Started out really hot, and then it dipped down. And so we were legitimately in a 250 capacity room the way we had it set. We were legitimately selling 20, 25 tickets a night, right? And so
What did you need to break even on that?
we were at about 70 tickets on that show.
So you were 50 tickets short.
Yeah, and of course, producing, we're financing it. So we didn't paper the room in the sense of using ticket companies to do it. We actually papered it because I grew up here. I know so many people. We had a full house every night. Toward the end of the 6-month residency, we were selling 75, 80 tickets. We were at break even, but we weren't covering the advertising costs we were spending. I didn't include that in that. I'm just covering cast costs. So I went to the
hotel didn't put any money up now for.
I don't want to be
for advertising.
I don't want to be too negative with them because they really did step up, but they didn't have all their ducks in a row. The marketing person wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. Them passing out stuff at the front desk. I had to go every week. I'd have to go talk to everybody. There was turnover. It was a grind. At the end of the deal, they wanted us to stay, but I could not get them to pay for the marketing. I said to them, "This is a multi-billion-dollar property. We're a $250,000 production show. You can see the trajectory. You can see that it's working. You see how hard we're working. I talked to Mr. Morello, the owner of the hotel. He was all for it. He says, get my entertainment guys to do it, and you're in. And I couldn't get the entertainment guys who were more nightclub sophisticated as opposed to live show sophisticated. And they just said it doesn't make sense. And I just said, how do you see me? We did billboards and taxi toppers and print and digital online marketing. I mean, I had people passing out flyers. I had showgirls on the property. We were paying for all that. How do you see? I put your brand on everything. We're a $250,000 show. You're a multi-billion-dollar property. You do the second 6 months. We're spending $20,000 a month on advertising. Take care of that for 6 months and we'll stay. And I couldn't get them to do it. So rebel, maybe not the right word, but it was not a fair deal. We show what we could do for 6 months. Now you guys carry that. I wasn't asking them to cover our cast costs. We were at break even. We got it to break even as far as that goes.
But we didn't. When I was there, I had $60,000 per act that I put into my marketing budget.
Sure.
I had $250,000 a month in marketing budget, but out of that, I had to fill the rooms. I also had to fill the hotel.
Yeah.
Because it was also for the stay part, the room part, and the restaurant. So that was my $250. But I made sure each act I had in there. So shows I had. David Sachs was in there with Buck Wild. It was not a four-wall.
Right.
Connie
it's
Francis.
on you. It's on you. So you got to be sure to ensure the success. That's the other problem with the four-wall. They don't care.
But we didn't concern ourselves so much if we sold out or not, because entertainment there was a draw. It was like having a dollar blackjack. Yeah. And the idea of the entertainment was to fill the casino when the show emptied.
Restaurants, tables, bars, the whole thing,
William G. Bennett, the guy who invented Circus after bought it from Jay Sarno, but created the property and several others, told me that the only thing you have to do to be successful is to fill the hotel and fill the buffet, and everything else will take care of itself.
Right. Well, South Point still thinks that way.
That's still the same, I would say, model of the old Vegas back in the 80s and 90s, and I was here in the 70s.
Very successful,
And back in the 70s, it was great to be a hotel executive. I came to town, and I'm at the Mint, and my first job is to pass out 2-for-1 coupons on Fremont Street. But I see all these executives with their Cadillacs and silk suits coming in the back door, and the valet parking their cars. 20 years later, I got to do that. I got to do that. I got to park in the garage at Circus where all the rest of the big shots.
That period was more of a I call it an intuitive type of management. It's a hunch. You can walk out on the casino floor. You understand where to put the right slots. When you understand your players, you understand that every department supports each other. The minute that you go and get they got a little more sophisticated in their accounting, and you separate food and beverage from entertainment from the hotel, and you start to make them all profitable on their own, there's a problem with that, because then it's just profit and loss. And why is this losing? If you look at entertainment, like the way they looked at it when you were in, they understood that those people were patronizing the rest of the casino, the hotel. They stopped doing that because there's a guy in a back room who's looking at the P&L statement and making decisions based on that, not walking out on the casino floor and watching when the show lets out and those 300 people come out of that showroom. Where do they go? What do they do? And if they're leaving the property, then there's a sticky problem. Somebody needs to have a hunch and intuition to learn how to make the property sticky. People aren't thinking like that anymore.
We had 800 seats in my showroom. When the show ended, half of them went out the door.
Half.
We lost half.
But you still had 400 people.
But I also made sure they all had a bounce back. They had a coupon for something inside the hotel.
Right.
However, I lost them. But the other 400 didn't go out the door. Half of them went drinking and eating, and the other half gambled.
And if you didn't have the show that night,
I wouldn't have had those 800 people.
So that's common sense, right?
The other thing is the buffet.
Buffet.
When SLS took over from the Sahara, that's when I ended my position, they closed the buffet. I was still consulting them. I said, don't close the buffet. That's 1,500 people a day who are not staying at the hotel that came in. And they didn't go right out the door. They came to eat and play.
They looked at it as they looked at the restaurant separately, and they saw that it was a break even or even a loss on that buffet.
We didn't mind losing.
And but the guy in the back corner, in the back room, did care. He looked at the number. He did not consider the additional business that you brought to the property. So it is what it is. That's the change in Las Vegas when you say it could be over, right? I think that they'll figure out a way to attract the younger generation. It's about experiences now.
But if we continue to have negative months, watch the parking fees slow down and watch some of those resort fees go away until they get the business back.
Yeah, and then
the
jack it
greed
up
kicks
again.
in.
Yeah, the greed.
We're going to talk more about Vegas greed, which was rampant in the 70s and the 80s.
And it's back.
Can you talk about your grandfather and what he did?
Oh, yeah.
You can do.
Yeah,
Okay,
of
we're going to
course.
come back and talk about that a little bit because he was rubbing elbows.
He sure was.
We'll be right back with the Vegas Pulse, stories from back of the house. I'm Ron Garrett. My guest is Michael Shapiro. We'll see you over the other side of the commercial. Hey Vegas and Hey Vegas TV presents Vegas Pulse, stories from the back of the house. My guest, Michael Shapiro. Before the break, I mentioned your grandfather, and can you talk about that a little bit? What did he do, and tell me some of the stories that you're allowed to say.
Yeah, my grandfather was a bookmaker in San Francisco, and he started as a young kid. When he was 16, he had payout pinball machines that he bought in Cashbox magazine, and he put them in corner stores in the neighborhood where he lived in San Francisco. And that's how he started at 16. And in 1955, there was a corruption bill passed, and they cleaned out all the gambling in all the major cities in the U.S. And he took an opportunity to buy into a 1/8 percentage of the Royal Nevada, which then became the Stardust, and now is Resort World. Everything changes. He started United Coin, which is now United Gaming, and he invented, manufactured, and operated 4 gaming devices. They were all over Las Vegas. And one of his locations was the Stardust. And one day he got a phone call, got to get your machines out of here. What? So he goes down to the Stardust, meets with the guy. He's like, you got to get them out of here. Got to get there. We want to own all of our own machines. So he said, where did this come from? He goes, it came from upstairs. Well, upstairs was Frank Rosenthal. Somehow, some way, Barney got up to Frank's office. They hit it off. The next thing you know, Frank's trying to get him to buy the lot next to him on 950 Vegas Valley in Las Vegas Country Club. My grandfather bought the lot next door to him and built a house there. So when I grew up going to my grandfather,
Las Vegas Country Club.
Yeah, well, I grew up going there as a kid. There were cameras all over that house. I'm like, who lives there? It was like magical. Well, it was Frank Rosenthal. And so he, rubbing elbows, he was literally, they were neighbors together, and they did business together. Frank let him keep the machines in the Stardust. He was the only guy that wasn't, in that deal that was able to operate machines. So he was an amazing businessman, got into real estate, but gaming was his thing, and he was a tremendous handicapper. Him and Frank had that in common, and they used to compare notes. And
There's something they probably like to do, sit around and talk about everything in gambling.
Yeah.
I did business with United Coin.
Oh, yeah.
In 2001, when I became the general manager of the Greek Isles, formerly Debbie Reynolds.
Right.
Nobody had a license. However, I did, because before that I was down in Laughlin, and I was the general manager of Gold River down there.
Oh, wow,
for 3 years. So I had the ability to have a license.
And United operated the machines.
And United came in and made me a deal.
Yeah.
And we put it. I put 100 machines on the floor.
Wow.
You can't take the revenue. You can't take people think you get a percentage. No, you don't.
No, yeah.
You have to have a gaming license to get
Lease
the
space,
percentage.
yeah.
But it's a rent. It's lease
Sure.
space.
Yeah.
And we made good money there, and we did very well with that. So
You
that was
know-
my experience with United Coin.
You were with Debbie Reynolds first, though?
No, I was not.
okay.
I call it that because people recognize the property.
What was it before the Debbie Reynolds?
It was the paddle wheel.
There you go. With Debbie Reynolds, I met Debbie Reynolds at Commercial Center in the Composer showroom, right? It's that location. I was cleaning the carpets in there, and a woman says to me, it was on a Sunday at like 3 o'clock. I used to own a carpet cleaning company. I'm cleaning the carpets, and I hear, young man, can you come over here for a moment? I walk over. She goes, do you know who I am? I'm like, you look familiar, but I don't. She goes, I'm Debbie Reynolds, and this is Eddie Fisher. And introduced, and so she said, I bought a hotel, and I need the carpets cleaned. We need work done. Would you like to come over and do that? And I started cleaning her carpets at the Debbie Reynolds Hotel.
Well, she was still around because her wardrobe collection, her museum, was still in the property.
In the place, yeah.
After she sold it to the WWF, they never opened it.
Oh,
John Marks from Chicago bought it, turned it into the Greek Isles.
gotcha.
He was $11 million in debt, and he sold it for $62 million about 6 years later.
Yeah, good deal.
Good deal. I was there for 2 years before they called me to go to the Sahara,
Gotcha.
and I made money for them.
Yeah.
But the story I have is that I became the general manager on 9/11.
Good timing, Ron.
9/11. That was my second day at work.
Wow.
And my first day was that Monday. That was a Tuesday.
It changes things.
And I'm at home. I haven't left for work yet. I'm watching the TV set, and they're blowing up buildings.
Yeah.
And I
Scary
went right
day.
down to the hotel. I had airline people in the hotel.
Oh.
We rented out half the rooms to United, the other half to Delta.
And they
So
shut
I
it
had
all down.
pilots and co-pilots and stewardesses, flight attendants.
Yeah.
And immediately they needed to be protected. Everything was grounded.
Yeah.
So I got security. I called private security. I surrounded the hotel.
Yeah.
That was my first thing to do when I became the boss there.
Well, we didn't know what. That was a crazy time, and we didn't know what. Yeah.
Basically, we were closed for 7 to 14 days.
Yeah.
And then everything happened after that, and we opened new rrestaurants, and everything went well.
It's a good way to start your job with a tragedy like that. I mean, that's.
Oh yeah, and who's this new? I'm the new guy.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
looking out to get the new guy. We don't want this guy. He's a new guy.
Right.
But I had a pretty good reputation, so I did okay.
Yeah.
I did okay.
Still doing okay.
Going forward now, you still have the brand Reckless in Vegas.
Yep.
It's a marvelous band. Everybody knows about it. It's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
And the way you do the show, I saw, is that you take songs that sound different because you guys get together and you rearrange everything. That's the key, right?
So I'm an original artist. I always have been, right? I've toured the world. I've had record deals. I just, when my booking agent said, if you want to make money in touring music, do a tribute act. Didn't sit well with me because, yeah, we could be a tribute act, but I want the originality. I felt I'm a creative. So we shelved that idea. Then in a meditation, I saw Reckless in Vegas. I was wearing a sharkskin suit. We're playing our style of music, but I'm singing Frank Sinatra. And there were showgirls and black and white video montages. So Dan Shea, my neighbor in Marin County, who's a Grammy Award-winning producer, I called him, and he had done an arrangement on a Neil Diamond song for us. We did a remake of a Neil Diamond song some years before that. I said, Dan, you remember that thing you did with the Neil Diamond song? He said, yeah. I go, what do you think about doing that with Old Vegas? It resonated with me because we're paying homage to, we didn't want to screw the arrangements up. We wanted to make them different and better for some people. And so they're all original arrangements. It's a modern twist on vintage Vegas. And it was a hit in the Bay Area, and that's what got Seth Shore to see us in San Jose and bring us to Las Vegas. We're still going. Right now, we've been in the studio for a month. We're recording the second version of this album. So we put an album out in 2008, original album, 2011, another original album, and in 2012, we put out this remake
First album was 1995 with the band Trip.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Reckless in Vegas, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so 2008.
Just wanted you to know I did my homework.
Thank you, Ron. 2008, 2011, and 2012, we put out The Hard Way, which is this remake version. So right now, we've been in the studio for a month, and we have another album going to be coming out in 2025. And it's been glorious because one of the things about the business changing in this town, the frustration, the pain, much what we read on that post. I got back to what my roots are, and it's not about the business. It's not about marketing and promotion and just producing shows. It's about creating music and recording music and the love for the instrument and the love for the music we're doing. I forgot about that. As a producer, promoter, and performer, sometimes performer gets a little bit, toward the bottom because I'm doing all of it, right? I forgot about the joy and the love for music. So what I've chosen to do in these uncertain times in this town is go inward and create. And I got to tell you, man, the last month for me,
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
I'm happy.
Yeah, because we're creating again. Now, where that goes and what we do
I'd
with
love
it.
to hear that.
Yeah, and earlier this year, Chris, oh, come on, help me out. Vix.
Phillips.
No, Vix. Loudon.
Oh, Vix, yeah.
Chris Loudon booked us. We did an unplugged show at Vix, and it was amazing. And we had such a good time, and it was a guarantee. So I'm retired from producing the show. I'm not retired from performing the show. And so we do corporate still. When the money's there, we'll do it. And we'll probably be, as soon as we finish doing this album, we're going to go back and do another show, probably at Vix. I really enjoyed that evening.
Vix is a great place.
Great venue.
My good friend Tony Sack and I produced shows over at Bally's back in the
Yeah.
17
Tony.
and 16. Hello, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, someone that walked up to him and said, "What's it like to be a producer?" He says, "You do all the work and you lose all the money."
Right.
So if you want to be a producer, be prepared to do that.
Yeah.
Kind of true.
I think the pro formers are funny. The advertisers or the people that are around you that are going to make money off of you producing, they hand you a pro forma that shows 100%, 90%, 80%. I want to see a pro forma that's at 5%, 10%, 15%. I want to see the bottom of it because that's where you got to figure out that break even. The advertisers make the money. The ticket companies make the money. The venues make the money because they're getting the bar, right? We can't share the bar. I mean, as a producer, he's right. That's a very. Where was he before I did the deal? He could.
We were doing television shows at Boulder Station.
Yeah, you were.
We're going to be back with our final segment with Michael Shapiro here on Vegas Pulse, stories from the back of the house. See you in a bit. Final segment now of Vegas Pulse with Michael Shapiro. Your future is making albums, and are you going to return to a showroom anytime soon?
The only way I would return to a showroom is if somebody wanted to produce it, or more importantly, the venue, the hotel itself, went back to the old model and saw the potential and saw the benefit to the property and got behind it. It's a great brand. It's a no-brainer for Las Vegas. It's not really about a quality of a show, right? It's all about the money. And for us, we've worked so hard and come so far. If that deal came to me and it was a fair deal, I would absolutely get back into a residency. In the meantime, I'll hand pick and select and pick and choose when we want to play, when we don't want to play, and I'll continue to create music, original music too. So we're in the studio right now doing 15 new Reckless in Vegas arrangements. But naturally, Chris and Jack and I've got original ideas too. So while we're in there with the drums all set up, we went ahead and we recorded, I think, 5 new original songs too. So I'm enjoying that process. Nothing's permanent. Everything's temporary. I'm open-minded about it. But I'm certainly not going to foot the bill and produce it myself and take on all the risk. It's just not fair. It's too stressful.
I agree with you, Michael Shapiro. Yeah. Thank you so much for appearing on Vegas Pulse. A little bit different than my radio show.
I love this, Ron. Thank you.
But it's fun to talk about you and the experiences you had here in Las Vegas. Yeah. The town's not the same, but it ain't bad.
Yeah, it's still good.
It's
still Las
Vegas. It's still going to be a lot of fun 50 years from now. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
thank you all for watching and listening to Vegas Pulse, stories from the back of the house. I'm Ron Garrett. We'll see you next time.